Hello and welcome to Uplifted Living, the podcast for living uplifted. I'm Nick Gilbert, and I want to thank you for tuning in today. As a lifelong learner in the field of education, I aspire to acquire and share knowledge that inspires. So I hope you're ready for today's episode. There's a line in It's All in Your Head by Russ that stops you in your tracks the first time you hear it. He says, "Believe it's possible before anyone else does." It sounds simple, almost too simple. But when you sit with it, you realize self-belief is not a feeling. It's a decision, a choice you make long before results show up, long before people clap for you, long before anything makes sense on paper. And today, we're diving into this idea of self-belief, the kind that comes from within, and how Russ's story, his mindset, and his philosophy can help us get out of our own way so we can finally become who we're meant to be. The hardest person to convince is ourselves. You know, the world gives us a million reasons to doubt ourselves. Sometimes it doesn't even have to try. We do it for the world. We overthink, we procrastinate, we shrink. We get caught in loops of comparison and what-ifs and fears disguised as logic. Russ reminds us that you are the obstacle, you are the solution. And if you're really honest with yourself, you can feel the truth of that. Most of the time, the thing holding us back isn't lack of talent, opportunity, or resources. It's the quiet internal voice whispering, "What if you're not ready? What if you fail? What if people judge you?" Russ calls this out. He says that the biggest battle we'll ever face is the one between our ears. But he also says something else, something powerful. You get to choose who wins. It's All in Your Head isn't a traditional self-help book. It feels more like a conversation or a confession, or a set of letters written from someone who already climbed a mountain trying to hand down a map. Russ talks openly about going all in on his vision, creating music for years without results, being misunderstood by everyone, including the people closest to him, feeling delusional, but choosing to believe anyway. His rise wasn't magic. It wasn't luck. It wasn't mindset. He writes, "Before you can ever reach the place you want to be, you have to believe you belong there." That line, if you let it, it can change the entire way you move through the world, because most of us are waiting for evidence before we'll believe. But that's not how self-belief works. Evidence comes last. Belief comes first. Think about that. Belief comes first. Russ didn't wait for external validation. He generated internal validation. He built momentum through consistency, creativity, and stubborn belief. And that's the part we often overlook. Self-belief is built through action. Even small action, repeated long enough that your brain finally says, "Oh, this is who we are now." Let's talk about getting out of your own way. Because we all have patterns that hold us back. Maybe your obstacle is perfectionism, people-pleasing, fear of failure, fear of success, overthinking, procrastination, needing approval, doubting your abilities, or even comparing your journey to someone else's. Russ challenges all of that. He says that mindset is not a personality trait, it's a practice, something you strengthen like a muscle, by choosing your thoughts with intention. Your mind is a garden, he writes. You decide what grows. So ask yourself, what have you been growing lately? Doubt or determination? Scarcity or possibility? Excuses or momentum? It's not about judgment. It's about awareness. Because once you see the pattern, you can change it. Let's break down the kind of self-belief Russ is talking about. because it's not fake hype or blind optimism. Self-belief is honest. It acknowledges fear, but doesn't bow to it. Self-belief is committed, a quiet, persistent decision. I'm doing this, period. Self-belief is delusional in the best way. You believe before there's proof. You see things no one else sees yet. Self-belief is daily. It's built through tiny, consistent actions, not grand gestures. Self-belief is not seeking permission. It stops waiting for someone else to validate your path. Self-belief is self-generated. And this is the hardest part. You can't outsource belief. You can't borrow it. You can't wait for someone to hand it to you. Self-belief is an inside job. Let's rewrite the script. Right now, take a breath. Wherever you are, walking, driving, folding laundry, just breathe in and ask yourself, if I fully believed in myself, what would I start doing? And then, if I fully believed in myself, what would I stop doing? These two questions can rewrite your entire life. Start and stop. Your life changes in the space between those two directions. Russ calls it aligning with your higher self. Choosing the version of you who already knows they're capable, worthy, creative, and powerful. Now here's a journal prompt you can revisit later. What would my life look like if I stopped getting in my own way? Sit with that. Let it open something in you. And when you're ready, here's an affirmation you can try. Say this out loud, or whisper it to yourself if you need to, but say it. I believe in myself first. I choose thoughts that support my future. I am getting out of my own way. In closing, Russ's story isn't about fame. It's not about music. It's not about entrepreneurship. It's about mindset. It's about betting on yourself when no one else would. It's about creating a vision big enough that fear cannot swallow it. It's knowing that your thoughts shape your reality, and that belief is something you practice until it becomes something you embody. So today, I want you to leave with this. Your dreams aren't waiting on more talent, or more resources, or more confidence. They're waiting on you. Your belief, your courage, your willingness to try again and again. Because the truth is simple. It's all in your head. And that means you have the power to change it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing growth. And remember, the moment you start believing in yourself, the world has no choice but to catch up. If you enjoyed this episode or found value in anything we discussed today, please consider liking, subscribing, leaving a comment, or sharing this episode with someone who might benefit from it. And lastly, keep striving to learn and grow, and make it a priority to uplift both yourself and those around you.